Hello everybody and welcome to Fresh Off the Court, WTK's Rock Solid Sports post-game show here from Thompson Bowling Arena. The Lady Vols knocked off Arkansas 86-83, an absolute thriller hit right here in Knoxville. Riley, let's get into it. Get your total big broad takeaway from tonight's win.
This team can score points when they really need to. It's something that offense has not been this team's strong point throughout the season, but out of nowhere in this game, it's like everything was clicking. And one of the biggest things went over in the post-game presser was the pick and roll, and it was so fun to watch. I mean, seeing especially Jordan Horston and Tamari Key have that connection, it would just work and work and work, and it was just so fun to watch. It was fun basketball to watch.
Yeah, and we've seen the Lady Vols, pick up a lot of resilient wins tonight, but I don't know if there's been a bigger one than tonight, because Arkansas was giving the Lady Vols a lot of trouble. TK was struggling in the paint offensively. She was kind of having trouble getting points, to be honest. I think she made her first field goal in the third quarter. She was pretty good at the line tonight, though, 8 of 9. That was really clutch down the stretch. But also on the Tennessee defense, Amber Ramirez was just lighting it up for the Razorbacks, with 29 points scored. That's her season high, second career high. But just what was the key to the Lady Vols ultimately winning in that fourth quarter?
Like you said, it was coming down to those clutch free throws. The foul totals were starting to creep up. Everybody was in the bonus, so it came down to every last free throw, and it really did come down to every last free throw. With only 3 points by being the margin of victory. I mean, it was really every time someone stepped up to the line, it was a major thing. And obviously the crowd was definitely a presence here tonight. Made it very hard for them to get those easy free throws. Crowd was always in their face, loud. One of the loudest I've heard Thompson Bowling, at least since Texas.
Right. Yes, and absolutely.
It was an absolutely insane environment here. With the fans. I think it was a great contribution for the fans.
Right, yeah, and Amber Ramirez had such a good game, and at the end of regulation she had those 2 free throws to tie it up with only 6 seconds left. You figure it's probably going to go to overtime unless the Lady Vols pull off a nice shot. It ultimately did go to overtime, but when she was at the line, oh my goodness, Riley, TVA was rocking.
Yes.
She made him, but just that type of energy from this fan base is a big reason why they ultimately won in overtime. But let's get into the nitty-gritty here. Sarah Puckett, 10 points, 10 rebounds off the bench, had a double-double, just a great performance all around from the freshman. What did you think of her performance?
It was very impressive considering up until this point, she's had her contributions. She's had her games where she scored in I think she has scored in double digits before.
She has, yes.
So it's one of those things where it was a huge step up for her. Obviously, this team was reeling after that loss to Auburn, and especially because of the loss of Kean Green. And Sarah Puckett did her best to fill those shoes, and I think she did a really good job of it tonight. 10 rebounds, something that the Lady Vols were missing in the last game. In this game, obviously, she starts to fill that void. Everybody really helped with those rebounds, but she was definitely a big part of that with 10 rebounds. Out-rebounded Tamari Key, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive. And, Kelly Harper was a lot of fun in the post game, and so was Sarah Puckett. And Sarah Puckett was asked, what was Kelly Harper telling you in that fourth quarter when it's crunch time and you as a true freshman are on the floor in one of the biggest games of the season? She goes, I look at Kelly and it's like, what do you want me to do? She goes, rebound. She's like, okay. So, and that's what Sarah Puckett did as she ultimately got 10. But you were kind of pointing in the right direction I want to go here. Lady Vols coming off that Auburn loss, get a big win tonight, and then they got 2 games coming up on the road. How big of a win was this?
It was major. Obviously, Arkansas has been playing really well, and it's a tough team to have a bounce-back game against. After that, an embarrassing loss to Auburn. It was one of the worst games they've played this season. To turn around and to play a surging Arkansas team, they're clicking on offense, super high octane, and win before going on the road for 2 very tough road matchups against Florida and UConn, it's major. It's a major step forward for this team. Coming off the loss of Kean Green, obviously somebody had to fill the void, and they're getting a lot of the answers that they needed, and a lot of them came tonight.
Yes, and the Lady Vols outboarded the Razorbacks 60-40 tonight. Obviously, that's Tennessee's MO as a women's basketball program, but they excelled in that area tonight, and it's a stat that leads to a stat I love, and that is second chance points. Tennessee had 27 second chance points tonight, Arkansas 6.
Yeah, major. The impact that Kelly Harper's philosophy has on this team. It's major, and it's a big reason why they win games. It's never giving up. Every offensive possession, you're going until the ball's in the other team's hands, and then you're right back on defense. So it's high octane. It's always moving, always giving your all. It's a wonderful coaching philosophy, and it's an impressive thing for Kelly Harper to have built here at Tennessee.
And there was so much hustle on the offensive glass from Tennessee in the first half. They were struggling making shots, but man, the hustle on these rebounds was just incredible. And granted, Arkansas was killing them with the threes, but I do want to point out Amber Ramirez, who had 5 threes in the last game against Tennessee, had 5 tonight, but she had 4 in the first half. So while Arkansas still had some success shooting the ball in the second half, they kind of clamped on Ramirez a little bit.
I agree. I think they showed a lot of poise in adjusting to how the game flow was going, and yeah, definitely adjusted to Amber Ramirez. She's a heck of a player. She was knocking down every shot she wanted, and yeah, they did their best to take everything they could away from her, make her send the ball somewhere else. She was a major player for Arkansas, and is a big reason why that team is surging like they are.
Yes, and Arkansas does have a bright end to the season, I would say, considering how they played the number 7 team in the country tonight. But the Lady Vols ultimately get that resilient win like they have so far this season. Everything went right at the end, and they got the win, and now they head to Florida on Thursday before heading up to Hartford, Connecticut for a Sunday matchup against number 10 UConn. That one's going to be tough.
Absolutely.
And I can't wait to get into it. But that'll do it for tonight. For Riley Haltom, I'm Jack Foster, and we'll see you in TBA next time.